Hello and welcome to the Darren Green Show, your one-stop shop for celebrity gossip, news and music, pop culture, and the latest gab on social media. Please be sure, if you are watching this on YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment. If you're listening on Spotify, you can leave replies. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, give me a rating. I would like to know how the show is going. Okay, and shout out to the We Are You radio listeners. Let me give y'all a bomb real quick. Okay, happy Monday, y'all. We got a lot to get into. There's a lot to talk about, but before then, I got to debrief, okay, as you would say. And let's talk about what's been going on the past week or whatever. Girl, I'm still job hunting. Yeah, here's the thing. I wasn't going to talk about it, but girl, who am I if I'm not talking about what's going on in my life, honey? This is the Darren Green Show. Yeah, so apparently jobs do credit checks. I find it so aggravating that you're trying to establish yourself in the field that you're trying to establish yourself in, and a job will sit there and be like, hey, well, we need you to have good credit. Girl, I'm trying to pay off the student loans. Okay, I need the job so I can make the payment so I can get good credit, girl. Why are we deferring people from working? And let's be very clear. I understand if it's like a governmental job, because like the security job that I was talking about before, they kind of reneged on the offer, even though they said, oh, you're hired, but it's contingent upon the background check. Okay, I understand it because it was like a governmental job. I had to get security clearance. That's like a governmental clearance thing, and I understand they do like a real extensive background check. I'm not mad at them. I was I felt aware about it, but I understand. It's fine. But a recent position that I was inquiring about was a regular receptionist and administrative assistant role. Okay, very entry level. I got the experience. I am 100% qualified for it. They do credit checks. And I'm like, why are we doing the credit check? It's just another way of, discrediting new people that are just getting out of college. They know you're going to be in debt because you're not able to pay. I wasn't able to make the payments when I was working at Wells Fargo. Let's be very clear. So what do you think is going to happen now? And I think that it's very unfortunate. And, I did some research on it. Yeah, this is like the New Jersey Fair Credit Act or whatever, because that's what they kept on telling me. I think that Fair Credit Act, that's a lie. And nothing fair about it. You don't get the job if you don't got good credit. I think that's so crazy. I think that's crazy even when you're getting an apartment. I mean, I think any instance where they're credit checking you for something. I mean, I get it if it to qualify for loans and stuff like that, and getting a car loan or this or that. I understand they're going to credit check you when you're putting down payment on a car or whatever. It depends on how much your payments is going to be. I get that, but it's when you're trying to find work, what does having good credit matter? I just find it so annoying. And I was a little bit depressed. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a real bitch. Earlier this week, it kind of hindered me from making content, but that's just a whole nother thing. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but I was able to find some solace in girl, at the end of the day, you gonna do what you're gonna do. I started door dashing, and I'm making some money off that, doing the podcast, doing TikTok and stuff like that. Even though I said I was gonna do TikTok, I'm just gonna do it for the promo of the podcast. But everything happens for a reason. Let me just make that very clear. And you're not gonna get everything. You're not gonna always get that offer, and that's okay. And you just have to keep in mind that rejection is God or the universe's protection. Okay, whatever you want to put God in there, you want to put the universe in there, whatever y'all believe in. You get what I'm saying? Everything is supposed to happen how it's supposed to happen. And I really could have dodged a bullet with that job anyway, to be honest. Let's be very clear. Companies are shady. Companies are very shady. I mean, y'all sat there, y'all are urgently looking. And when I went for this administrative assistant job, they were urgently looking for someone to fill somebody's shoes because there was a person in the front desk that was moving up. So the fact that y'all are urgently hiring, but y'all are not hiring. And I see that Indeed sent me a notification that they're looking for an administrator. Y'all didn't find nobody. Y'all not trying to hire nobody. And that's the problem. And that's why I say, you know what? I'm good off that. I do have another job inquiry that's supposed to be getting back with me with the interview. So hopefully that works out. But it just is what it is. I'm here. I'm doing what needs to be done. Okay, let's be very clear on that. And on that note, we can get into the topics at hand. Okay. Now, we got to talk about the whole O.J. Simpson passing. That's something I want to talk about very briefly. Then we'll talk about Drake getting dropped from this Astroworld lawsuit and what I think about that. Speaking of Drake, some rappers took the time to throw some shots at him as well. We'll get into that. We'll also talk about NLE Choppa addressing his sexuality. This is definitely an interesting topic. All that and more coming up on The Darren Green Show. Okay, let's get into our first topic. Let me share the screen. I am using another platform to do the recording of this podcast. So this is like very much trial and error. So anyway, let's get into our first topic, which is none other than the O.J. Simpson topic. Okay. TMZ reported that the former NFL star who stood trial for the double murder of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman in the 90s, only to be acquitted, passed away Wednesday in Las Vegas, according to his family. They say that he was surrounded by his children and grandchildren when he had died Wednesday night. Simpson's attorney also confirmed the death to TMZ. OJ had reportedly been battling prostate cancer in his recent years, and his health took a turn for the worse, with him landing in hospice care within the past few months. Most recently, the former NFL star reportedly had 30 to 50 family members, including 4 children, sign NDAs before his death, according to Radar Online, of course. Insiders told the outlet that all of his loved ones who came to visit him before he died were told to sign NDA forms and were not allowed to bring their cell phones inside. So that's kind of crazy. I mean, but when you are a celebrity and you are like well known, it's just best to have that. Even though it does look a little weird and it does look a little, it's very much telling. Many people were saying that he was taking this story to the grave. Okay, no pun intended. People are going to have their opinions, whether they, and every time I talk about this with people, it's like, so how do you feel about the whole O.J. Simpson situation? I mean, wherever you feel like, do you think he deserved it? Do you think that he didn't do it or whatever the case is? He's resting in peace. Is he in the underworld, child? At the end of the day, I see that people say that he never did it. Like there's a lot of discourse going on social media of people saying that, oh no, he never did it. Like there's evidence to prove it. The fact that the dude, Ron Goldman, had scars and defense wounds on him, but OJ didn't. People were bringing up that. I also seen this video recently. This is actually before he died too, and it was very like scary. But like they said that his brother, allegedly, like this is all alleged, they said that his brother had something to do with it or was the culprit, but in turn, like, they tried to cover up the situation because I guess OJ didn't want him to go to jail. But they said that he did it because he already had like anger issues and problems and all this other stuff. I don't know. Look it up. The information is there. Like I said, this is all alleged. This was before my time. So like I said, I don't have much to talk about it with. But like, yeah, people are just expressing how they feel. We got people like Caitlyn Jenner. Okay. Let's be very clear on that. Caitlyn Jenner definitely had some words to say about OJ, saying good riddance. Yeah, that's happening. That was said. Caitlyn always has to talk. She always has to say something. And her response, because people was like grilling her, I guess. And she basically said, I know all think it's cute to compare a fatal car accident with multiple vehicles involved to a brutal murder. But remember, OJ said something to the effect of, I could, Nicole, and get away with it because I'm O.J. Simpson. Okay, that is one of the quotes that he said. But let's be very clear, Caitlyn. Let's talk about that multi-car accident. Let's talk about that fatal multi-vehicle accident. Okay, so the wrongful death lawsuit was filed by the 69-year-old's 2 stepchildren who blame Jenner for causing an accident in which their loved ones were killed. Among the claims asserted in the suit are that Jenner violated traffic laws and operated a motor vehicle in negligent, careless, and a reckless manner. Okay. Y'all the same. I mean, like, he definitely would, if he did do the killings, okay. He did his stuff recklessly, careless, negligence, all that. I mean, okay, yours is an accident, but at the end of the day, you were driving how you were driving. You violated traffic laws, and it in turn killed some people. And for you to sit there and say, "Oh, multiple vehicles were involved," no, you were the cause, though. Like, stop acting like you were not the one in the wrong. But I also don't like the fact that people are taking the time to use this opportunity to be not homophobic, but transphobic. You know, because people was calling her Mrs. Doubtfire and all that other stuff and saying, "Oh, you a man," this, that, and the third. I think that it's so weird. Whenever she says something that's controversial, that's like real pro, alt-right or, pro-conservative, like, it's like, yeah, she's right. Yeah, I like Caitlyn. Yeah, that's the girl. But when she says stuff like this, we all switch and be like, "Oh, see, at the end of the day, you a man." Like, I don't condone that conversation. I do condone slandering the hell out of goddamn Caitlyn Jenner, though, because Caitlyn Jenner ain't shit. Let's be very clear. The girl ain't shit. All right. At the end of the day, people are going to have their opinions on the O.J. Simpson situation. Like I said, it was before my time. I don't know too much about that, honey. But you guys will tell me what you think in the comments. Okay, and we can move on off of that. I want to talk about Drake. We got some things to get into because according to court documents obtained by TMZ, a judge recently dropped him from the Astroworld class action lawsuit as previously reported in 2021. He made a surprise appearance at Travis Scott's Astroworld. At some point during the event, things unfortunately turned tragic when a crowd crushed ultimately left 10 dead and hundreds of others injured. Reportedly, Drake was named in the lawsuit as many argued that his appearance played a hand in the chaos from the crowd. Now, however, Drake's legal team claimed he shouldn't be held responsible for the attendees' safety, and a judge has agreed, finally dismissing all the claims against him with prejudice. Let me be very clear. I think that Drake is 100% responsible for the lives that were lost and the lives that were injured just as much as it is Travis's fault. I don't care what nobody says. We knew that he was going to appear on here, so that means your fans are there. Let me take the 100% back. I say maybe like 50, 60, 70% is y'all responsibility, right? Because there was a lot of people that dropped the ball. It wasn't just the headlining artist that performed. It was probably his team, the security, and all other things, added into there as well. Let's be very clear. It was overpopulated. And that's the problem with a lot of these festivals. Very overpopulated, unregulated. That's why I don't go to none of them. I go to a concert because everybody that's in that concert is supposed to be there. They paid for it. There was people jumping over the fences trying to get in. It was mayhem. It was not enough security. I heard it was like 10 security guards. Well, let me not say 10 because I might be wrong. Don't quote me. But there was a small number of security guards compared to the people that were actually there. They should have stopped the show. Honestly, when things started getting out of hand, they should have stopped the show. I mean, you was going to get paid anyway. You got paid because the people showed up. So, they paid their tickets. So it would have looked bad on your part. But like at the end of the day, it would have made more sense if they would have took the precaution. We seen clips of Travis Scott actually looking at people getting crushed. Granted, if he saw it or not, this is definitely his fault as well. But remember, there was a report that recently came out that said Travis Scott recently had his attorneys argue in the court filing that he was not in control of the event, of safety or security, and should not be held as an individual responsible for the deaths of 10 concert attendees and the injuries, of hundreds. Now, my thing is this. First of all, the people that lost their lives and the people that were injured, girl, that is your fault. If I go on an airplane, okay, and God forbid, let me knock on wood, child, if I have to go on an airplane recently, and that thing crashed and I survive, oh, I'm suing Delta. Delta's paying, or wherever else. If I'm using Spirit, Southwest, whatever, I'm suing the company. You are the company. You are the name. You're the face. You're the money. You get what I'm saying? So yes, you are very much supposed to be involved. Drake definitely should have been in there too. But the judge agreed. The judge made the decision. It is what it is. I still feel like Drake is definitely, should be part of that conversation. Travis Scott, the fact that you even attempted to try to get out of this, boo, no, absolutely not. It's disgusting to see like him kind of, because at first he was, he had to play the PR role. Like he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm talking about Travis Scott now. I'm so sorry about the situation. Like, very, oh, I fell away or whatever. And I never meant for any of this to happen. To now, I don't want nothing to do with this and I shouldn't be named. I mean, the most you're going to do is pay a fine or something like that. And that will go to the people that lost their loved ones and the people that were injured. Because God is kept, I haven't heard any reports that he could be potentially facing any jail time for this situation. So, boy, bring your checks out, bring your checkbook out, okay, pay the fine, and move on, okay? Because the more you try to fight this, the more y'all try to fight this, the more they'll report on it, and the more people will remember the shit that you did. Girl, I'm done with these people. Y'all will tell me what y'all think in the comments. Because, but now speaking of Drake, okay, girl, when I tell you the rap game in the male community has not been like, let me tell you something. For the longest, it's been real stale in the male rap community, but they are definitely waking it back up. Okay, because everybody's turning on Drake. Okay, everybody is literally turning on Drake. I'm here for it because I don't mess with Drake. I ain't gonna lie, I don't mess with the girl. Okay, let's be very clear. And let's get into it. So after the release of Future and Metro Boomin's highly anticipated album, We Still Don't Trust You, fans noticed that the featured artists on the album, A$AP Rocky and The Weeknd, were taking shots at Drake. Now, on the Show of Hands record, it's clear that A$AP is talking about Drake when he rapped ninjas in their feelings over a woman. You hurt or something. I smashed before you birth, son. And this basically, I think this is a response to what Drake said about Rihanna. We know that in his recent album, he did take shots of Rihanna, basically trying to call her a thought or whatever. I don't remember what it was, but I definitely, people were definitely reporting the fact that Rihanna was definitely shaded by Drake, and it's just like, you mad because she didn't choose your sweet act? Let me stop, child. Let me stop. I mean, really, like, I thought that was so aggravating. I didn't like the fact that he talked about Megan. I just did not get down with. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna be a fake bitch. Okay, at the end of the day, I do have a couple songs on my personal playlist. Let's be very clear. But Drake ain't okay. He definitely a messy little queen. So I'm pretty sure there's a reason why these dudes are coming for him. Now, when it came to the Weeknd's diss, okay, on the All to Myself record, he basically sung "They Could Never Diss My Brothers" when they got leaks in the operation. Thank God I never signed my life away. They're shooters making TikToks. Okay, now the thing about the Weeknd, I had to really do some research on to like what's going on. The Weeknd, Drake pretty much helped The Weeknd in the beginning of his career. I've done research on the fact that, Drake and his team kind of noticed The Weeknd, on social media and kind of helped him out. I think he was a part of OVO at one point. So I believe that they had some type of dealing, and maybe it was some type of business deal that kind of went sour. And, I don't trust artists that has their own labels. Like, you're not going to pay attention to these artists. Look at Kanye West and look how he did Tiana Taylor. Like, her first album literally flopped because of lack of promotion and just lack of direction. Also, when we look at people that, that Diddy, the artists that were under Diddy, like, they never really flourished. Except for at one point Biggie, but people like to say that he did something, allegedly. But like, I don't trust artists having other artists on a label. So I definitely feel like there was some type of bad business deal that happened between him and The Weeknd. As it comes to A$AP, we all know, you took shots at Rihanna and you sounded mad bitter because Rihanna chose somebody else over you. Okay. And then, you know, just some weeks ago, we heard Kendrick Lamar's diss. Now, people are saying that Drake is ready to drop a diss record as well. He did make a response. So basically, he made this post of this person digging for gold, basically, or digging for diamonds. And there's one person on the side that gave up, that almost got to it, and then there's a person that's determined to get to it. And he said, never give up, and maybe we'll get closer than you think, talking about him getting a reaction. I mean, but Drake, that was a reaction. You're trying to be unbothered, but you still talking about it. Like, girl, it didn't eat like you thought it ate. Okay, let's be very clear. And then we got people in the comments talking about his ghostwriters is still cooking. Girl, probably. Oh, of course his ghostwriters is still cooking. You know Drake don't write nothing. Drake ain't never wrote nothing. Let's be very clear on that. Look, there's a lot of reference tracks out there on the media. Drake don't write. Okay, so that's exactly what's taking so long. And he's making sure he gets all the people that's involved in this little trashing and beefing and all that. Girl, don't nobody care. My thing is this. I think that this is not going to be the same triumphant moment for him like it was when he was going against Meek Mill. Okay, because I ain't going to lie. Drake won that. The fact that he said you getting bodied by a singing, okay, that was some good stuff. But I think that now, what is he going to say? What else is he? I mean, some people believe that Drake still got it, but girl, I don't know. I think it's gonna be just as stale as the rest of the music that he'd been dropping lately. Child, she's very clear on that. Anyway, y'all will tell me what y'all think. Well, actually, no, I'm not done, because Boozy made a response talking about and there's a lot of disses going on right now, like in the male community. We just had Quavo and Chris Brown. They were on records like talking about each other. I think it started with Chris Brown when he said effing my old B ain't gonna make us equal. Okay, now I'm thinking he's talking about the fact that, you know, Quavo was with Karrueche. Okay, was seen with Karrueche, and I guess Chris Brown didn't like that. And then, you know, Quavo made a response. Okay, you did it wrong. Now that gone, she posts with a thug. Okay, so they did it. And my thing is this. I think that's so, like, Chris Brown, you are so freaking toxic. At the end of the day, it's been years since you've been with Karrueche, child. You don't want to see that girl thriving with somebody else. Like, it's giving very much bitter. Like, these old geriatric male artists are old and bitter, that for whatever reasons, okay, let's be very clear, whether it's we talk about Chris Brown or Drake, girl, bye. Anyway, okay, guys, so I had to do an update because Drake has allegedly dropped a diss record. Okay, it's called Drop and Give Me 50, and he is basically obliterating everybody in motherfucking building. Let me stop. No, but I just got done listening to this record, allegedly, because people are saying that this could potentially be AI. They're not sure. Drake didn't drop it. Okay, he didn't release it. It got leaked. Okay, so people are saying that this could potentially be AI. I mean, the fact that we all are collectively not sure if it's AI or not says a lot about his music. But look, I listened to it. I mean, here's the thing. I like the beat. Okay, I love the beat. You know, I'm not going to say this is bad. This is definitely not, like I said previously, this was not back to back. Okay, this was not the diss that he did to Meek Mill. This was nowhere near it. Very much a slow burn. First of all, we didn't even know he was going to drop it. I think the stuff that he said in there was interesting. I mean, he definitely got into some things, and he definitely got real descriptive, and he was naming names and stuff like that. At some point I was like, girl, this is how I wanted Nicki to respond to Meg. Okay. He starts to diss Future. That's what happened in the beginning of the song, child. He said, oh, your first #1, I put in your hand. Basically saying that all of the songs that really went there with you, Future, Drake was on. Right. And that is true. Like, facts are facts. Okay. Let's be very clear. Yeah. A lot of Future's biggest hits has Drake in it. He gets into Metro Boomin. He told that man to shut up and make some drums, child. Oh my goodness. He got into The Weeknd, Travis Scott. I guess Travis was he I think he was in some type of affiliation with the people that's been dissing him or something like that. I think that's the reason why he brought him up. Now he got into Kendrick, and when I reflect on Kendrick and Drake's beef, I think that the thing is Kendrick has all the respect as a rapper. He's put on this pedestal as this critically acclaimed lyricist, all that in the bag of chips, right? Drake is more commercial. Drake is never in the conversation when we're talking about top 5 rappers. Let's be very clear. He's not in those conversations. He is commercial. Like somebody said to me a couple of days ago, he's the Taylor Swift of rap. He gets all the accolades and the numbers and people coming to his concerts and stuff like that, you know, saying like Taylor, you know. But we all know who the better performer when we talking about performers. We know it's Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so it kind of is like that. And Drake doesn't like that. And Kendrick clearly doesn't want to be compared to Drake. Okay. So that's where the animosity has grown between the two. And that's why we see Drake get on a song with Cole basically saying that, you know, he's an afterthought and all this other bull crap, which in turn, like at the end of the day, yes, you got more eyes on you, but are you the one? Are you the one that's mostly talented? No, you're not. Girl, you have writers. I'm pretty sure that the writers were definitely working overtime with this diss record, because I'm not going to say this was a bad diss record. I mean, it's definitely, like I said, he got into some things, but I thought it was also weird too how he kind of came for J. Cole. As y'all know, J. Cole came out with his diss record, but then he reneged and he actually deleted one of the songs on the little album that he had. It's just like, it's giving big bully energy, and it's like, girl, you're not even like that. Like that's why I can't really get into this whole diss. And at the end of the day, you know, Rick Ross came out with his little diss record afterwards, because I think Drake dissed a lot of people. Okay. Okay, he brought up Rick Ross into the whole situation. Rick Ross looked like he had a diss record already potted up, because he dropped his, and basically he was just talking about how the man got fake abs, that he got his nose job to make his nose smaller than his dad's. He was going in, and my whole thing is, because I've seen other platforms talk about the situation. Like I watched the Impressive channel to get her take. Girl, her takes are so tired nowadays. You know, basically saying that, oh, well, you know, they're all just jealous of him. And I'm just like, jealous? I mean, girl, I think it's to a certain extent, are some people jealous of Drake because of his success? I mean, yeah, I mean, when you look at it, like these people that are coming for him, you know, most of them, when you think about like The Weeknd, I don't care about Rick Ross and stuff like that, but The Weeknd and Kendrick and all that, like these are real talented artists that don't get the shine as Drake. So I guess they could be a little bit envious, but I ultimately think that it's just something that Drake did to them. I'm sorry. I'm going to always agree that if everybody is saying the same thing about one person, it must be some truthfulness to it. So I'm just interested to see how this is going to play out. I don't know if Kendrick is going to come back, because Kendrick definitely gets into the things and gets real raunchy with it. Okay, so I'm hoping that happens. Some people saying, oh, we can't encourage this beef because it starts violence and stuff like that. Look, everybody keep their hands to themselves. Like I said before, keep your hands to yourself. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Okay, this is the sport and rap. Okay, and when you do things to people, Drake, at the end of the day, people are gonna come back at you. I don't think that people just came for Drake just because off the basis that he's so successful. Like, no, you do some real grimy shit behind closed doors, and then you wanna act like you got some street cred. Like, girl, we know you're not like that, girl. Anyway, I'm off this topic, girl. How I feel about this diss track, channel. I think that it was definitely interesting to watch. It's definitely keeping my attention. The male rappers and male artists in general, because let's be very clear, have not been giving it to us musically. Yeah, so this is definitely getting a lot of people's attention. Now, a lot of people are saying that, oh, they're doing this just to get a reaction because Drake is the biggest rapper in the world. And, you know, to talk about the biggest rapper in the world, you get some ill press, in the words of Nicki. You get some attention on you, but I don't think that The Weeknd doesn't need attention from Drake. Kendrick definitely don't need an attention from Drake. That's why it was so asinine that J. Cole would even think to say, oh, you only get attention when you dissing somebody. That's like, what? People are still on TikTok and on various social media sites analyzing old Kendrick songs. So like, they're not doing it with yours, Cole. Let's be very clear on that. So whatever I don't know. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. It's a lot going on. I love this conversation. Even Cardi got like a little bit of a stray because they saying Bia shaded Cardi B child on this song with I think Dreezy made a remix and whatever, and Bia was talking about like, how you gonna say you running down and can't walk on the beat? I could never turn my phone on just to cry girl on live. Now that's a clear diss. I didn't even hear that part. Hold on. I can never turn my phone on just to cry on live, because she definitely cried on live about Offset. Girl. Cardi, you need to come back. And I don't mean go on a freaking live rant, okay, or go on Twitter and at the girl. I need you to get in the booth and demolish her. Because first of all, I don't even like Bia. Let's be very clear. I do not like her. I think that Bia is definitely late and tired. Let's be very clear on that. She's not like the it girl. She don't have the it girl factor. Like, she got that one little song, like In the Bodega or some shit like that. Like, she's not that girl. Cardi, you need to get in the booth and demolish her, because I feel like you can get your writers together. Okay, just like Drake, get your writers. Okay. It really demolished her because she really taking shots. And I thought, now, I don't really care for Cardi either, but I thought it was so weird that when people were trying to sit there and say, oh, Bia is taking shots at Cardi, and at first she was like, no, I don't even know her to take shots. And now, a couple months later, you taking shots. Like, she's literally catching a stray for like, girl, what did she say to you? I mean, I know there was kind of a back and forth like a couple weeks ago, but like, what's the beef, girl? What is the beef? And why are we dissing somebody on somebody else's song? Come up with your own song. Anyway, that's enough with the whole beef with the rappers and stuff like that. I want to move on. I do want to talk about NLE Choppa, because there was something interesting. It was an interesting conversation that he had. He just released a song that has been going viral for actually a couple weeks, right? It's called Slut Me Out Too. Okay. And basically the chorus, I'm not going to play it obviously for copyright reasons. It's like, if I was a bad bee, I want to me too, talking about himself. This is like a self-love type song. Like, he's talking about how like he looks so good that if he was a baddie, like he would like get with himself. You get what I'm saying? And it caused a lot of conversation because there was a lot of people on social media talking about his sexuality and saying that, oh yes, he one of them. Okay, or one of us, I guess. Now, he responded. He said, I understand being in love with myself as a black man is so rare, to the point where some people try to put the homosexual jacket on my name. But with all due respect, I love all, but my intimacy lies only with women. Okay, I was like, period. Okay, all right. He's sticking to his guns. When it comes to rappers, and it's not even a rapper thing. Like, this is like a straight male thing. Like, it is some type of like rule book on how to be. And I love when, even though I don't really defend straight men like that. I can care less too, but I do love to see certain men in the straight community embrace their true, authentic personalities, despite what people think. And he also shouted out the gay community because he noticed that the song was getting a lot of love in that sector. And he said, look, I love all who love me. Yeah, I think that more rappers should be, or more straight people, men in general, should, be open to being who they authentically are. Like, I feel like somebody in the comments said, like, I feel like being straight has so many rules. Like, I'm like, yeah, like y'all kind of put yourself in them boxes though. Somebody in the response is like, oh, well, no, that's just closeted gay men and women telling men how to be. Like, no, let's be very clear. Y'all started the patriarchy. Straight white men, actually, but in turn, straight men, y'all create the environment that y'all got to do this, she got to do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Like, y'all make that environment. And so when somebody steps out of that box, that's when we start hearing the conversations like, oh, this person gay or this person this. I never thought NLE Choppa, he does not remotely give homosexual. Yeah, let's be very clear. And if it is the case, that's not no problem either. Okay, but he said he's not, and he made a song, love it on himself. Like at the end of the day, and I don't think there's a problem with that. And I think more rappers should even be like that because now, let's be very clear, it's so many boxes and so many things, so many rules to being this way that you can't really stand out no more. Like we ain't got no Cisco's no more. Like you remember Cisco? He had the damn silver hair and it was singing about thongs and stuff like that. Rapping and stuff like we're not getting like true authentic artistry with these artists because in the male community, and I'm not talking about the queer artists because the queer artists is doing their thing. Okay, I'll be hearing y'all all when I be listening to my show on We Are You Radio. Okay, shout out to y'all. But when we're talking about like straight male artists, they don't go all the way in. Like they don't we're not seeing people back in the 90s used to. Girl, R&B used to thrive. R&B is so basic now because now they are put in this little box, and if they do anything else that's outside of the box, then people will hit them with the whole, like he just said, the whole homosexual jacket, which I think is could be a little problematic to say, but whatever. Like I don't know. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. I think this is a very interesting conversation. I don't know if I added anything to it or whatever, but I definitely loved his response to everything. And, as a younger artist, NLE Choppa definitely has a head on his shoulders, okay? Like, he's not one of these other dudes. All this policing on what men should do. I feel like men police their own damn bodies. Let's be very clear. And y'all need to be free from them shackles, okay? Because that will keep you under, all right? And that's all I'll say about the conversation. We'll move on. I have one more topic to get into before I get up out of here, okay? I wanted to talk about this TikToker. Okay, Leo Skippy, right? And for the non-TikTok people that don't really know about, I'm gonna walk you through everything. Okay, now there is this creator by the name of Leo Skippy. Okay, I don't know what his content is. I've seen him before. Like he's just like, okay, I don't want to say that. I don't know if he's one of the girls. So I mean, I mean the way he be talking. I don't know. But anyway, he's a content creator. He has a lot of followers. He recently got roasted all last week, okay, on TikTok for being fat-phobic. He basically talked about how brands do not have to appease to bigger size people. He talked about his own recollection of like when he was big and how, he always put on clothes that said, the clothes wasn't for me. And it was like, no, it's my body type. It was, it's because I'm too fat or whatever, self-deprecating in the video also, talking about his past because this is a person, for my audio listeners, this is a person that used to be big and now lost weight. So you kind of already know where I'm going with this. It's a lot. And I'm not trying to say that people that lose weight, they act different, but it'd be a lot of them that be doing that. They get that gastric bypass, they start getting that Ozempic, they start getting real skinny, and then they're like, oh, well, I just feel like fat people, like, so that he was on that type of time. He made several responses. Like the first one was insensitive, the second one was ignorant, and then the last one he did, it was like a PR stunt, like, oh, I'm gonna take my ego out the door, talking about I never meant to harm them. What got me was the response was, I'm not saying that a big person doesn't deserve nice things or deserve to be respected, but at the end of the day, it comes with that. Like what? Like it comes like being that like you made the conscious decision to be big, so things like that are happening. Like he tried to make a comparison when you get on an airplane, you got to get 2 seats if you have to. Like that's what it is. Okay, girl. Like. First of all, we're saying being big is a choice. Let's not act like there's people that don't have chronic illnesses that really cannot lose the weight. Not even with chronic illnesses. It's the fact that there's a McDonald's every corner of the street and it's the cheapest thing, cheaper than groceries. Okay, let's be very clear. Groceries is expensive as hell. I do know that getting wholesome food, like good food that's good for you, it is hard to come by. It's hard to afford. Okay, so people, they go out to eat. They go to the corner stores. They go to the McDonald's. They go to this because they don't have the resources. So yes, and that in turn makes people overweight. This is not no excuse. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, people could go to the gym. People could do that. There's things that people can do. But when we're talking about brands, especially the brands that say that we include clothes. We make clothes for all people, all sizes, where it's in their mission statement, but it doesn't reflect on the clothes. I go to the store and it only goes up to XL. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm a person, I'm in the 300s to be exact. I'm about 3 something. Okay, let's be very clear. For y'all getting my comments like, Darren, you know you big bag. I know I am. Okay, let's be very clear. I have not been able to shop at a mall for years. Okay. And I know I'm overweight, but I know I'm not like, I ain't the 600-pound life. Okay, let's be very clear. And I'm not trying to, but I'm just saying. I know if I'm having trouble going to stores and finding clothes, I can only imagine what it's like for people that's bigger than me. You get what I'm saying? So it's not, it does not make any sense. We're not asking for the Juicy Couture. Okay, we're not asking for the Mugler. We ain't asking for the high-end fashion. But some people are, and that's okay. I just want to get a graphic tee. If I'm going to a party, I need to get a new shirt. I just want to get a graphic tee and not have to be like him. Like, oh my goodness. Like, that's what we're asking. And part of influencing is making change. Somebody said that on TikTok. Like, they talked about how back in the day before we had like things like Fenty Beauty, it was hard to find a foundation. Makeup people, it's hard to find foundation in my skin tone. It's talking to black people. They literally had to be like a Picasso and mix 2 foundations together to make a new damn color until people complained and the companies made the change. This is the same thing that's happening now. People are calling out these brands, hey, make bigger sizes. Okay, so no, I'm all for the slander that's going on with this Leo Skippy. You definitely need to take a little seat back. Okay, and looking at your posts, because I was doing research on him, child, you wear black white beaters all the time. So you still struggling with your image. You wear a black white beater every goddamn post. Let's be very clear. Now, I wear the same stuff too. I got a wash machine. But like, girl, fix your own goddamn self before you want to sit there and check somebody else's. At the end of the day, just watch what you say. And I understand he prides himself on being this free thinker, all facts over feelings, all that bull crap. Just watch what you say. I mean, you don't know who's following you. You don't know who is watching that. And for him to talk about how he struggled with his anxieties of being like a bigger, heavier set person, what you put people through that are going through that, what you went through that are going through that are trying to make the change, that are trying to whatever, just exist in the world, whether they want to lose weight, whether they don't, that are fans of you, that watched you grow, that watched you go through this journey. And for you to sit there and say, well, some clothes are just not appealing for you and your body type. Ugh. Anyway, I'm done off this topic. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please be sure to leave a like, a comment if you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Well, on Spotify, you can leave replies. Apple Podcasts, you can leave me a little rating. Okay. 5-star rating, or just tell me what you think. Okay. And I will get back to you with the next episode. See you guys soon.